Good morning. Good morning to everyone that's watching on Women of Light on the Facebook group and to everyone that's watching on our YouTube. So this is a new thing we're doing where we're recording it on for YouTube and starting to create a bit of a library. So if you're on YouTube or you're on Facebook and you want to go on YouTube, jump over to our YouTube channel and we will be able to put the subscribe button and the bell, and you'll get to see things as the notifications when we put something on, because we will be putting more and more on there as we go along. So this is not Casey. Good morning, Jeanette. Thank you so much for being so accommodating and being able to jump on just really quickly, because unfortunately Casey is not feeling 100% today. And, you know, even when you're not, like, you might be able to do it, but might not. It just mucks around with your brain and you're just not firing on all cylinders, right? So it's best for her to just jump into bed and feel better, and we can do the interview at another time. Jeanette and I have known each other for a long time now, a couple of years, Nellie, coming, year and a half.
Yeah, I think almost 2 years.
Yeah, but we've really connected, and we're very, very good friends. We talk all the time, and I love our discussions because Jeanette is an ontological coach, which she will explain in a minute. But today we're actually decided to do a little bit of a preamble of our women's gathering that we're having in Women of Light Facebook group. So if you're watching on YouTube and you'd like to join our Women of Light Facebook group, check the link out down below, because it will only be live streamed into the Facebook group. It's going to be a limited edition. We're going to do one a month just for a little while. But the first one's going to be about being a woman of light and, you know, spiritual journey and self-development and working on yourself quite deeply on a spiritual level, and dealing with family, like being a daughter and a sister to other family members, right? And it's such a hot topic. So who better to talk to about it other than an ontological coach and Jeanette? So Jeanette, can you just share a little bit about what an ontological coach is?
Yeah, so what we do as an ontological coach is we actually help you. It's a study of ontology of the human observer. So what we essentially do is give you a whole range of different ways that you can observe your world, the relationship you're having with yourself, the relationship you're having with other people, how you get things done with your, you know, in your own world, how you want to show up in your world, and also how you want to show up as a human being, and especially then to your families as well, how you make and you manage your commitments between each other. It's actually really fascinating that it's not life coaching as such. It's really giving you a really in-depth understanding of how humans behave together, and some really solid ways that you can behave differently if you choose to, or be differently in the world.
Yeah, which is why I'm really excited about having you join us for the gathering, because my idea for the gathering is not so much to have a panel, as we've discussed. However, like just a gathering of women who want to talk about a topic, you know, not just us talking to them, but actually talking about a subject, asking questions of people like yourself, and, you know, I've got a few other people that I've asked to join us as well, that just have, you know, this is a little bit more in depth for them, because it's the type of things that they work with, right? So all of us working together and talking together and asking questions and answering questions, and, you know, just coming from a common place of, oh my gosh, what it's like to be a daughter. I mean, you know, I've left being a mother out because it's a whole different topic, and we're going to do that next month. However, it's just a big topic, isn't it? Like, it doesn't matter
It's a
It's,
massive topic
yeah,
because we learn everything from our mothers.
yeah,
That's who we learn from. So if we feel through our adult life that we're a little bit broken at times when we're not, but it's just our conditioning,
yeah,
that's where we have to look back to our mothers as being not solely responsible. And this is not a bagging mothers, but certainly for being a part of that conditioning.
yeah. And fathers, like the fact of
Absolutely.
the, yeah, like how I show up,
Yeah.
up to the world. Um, if I showed up like this completely to my family, well, I have at different times, uh, they think that I'm crazy.
Mm.
Like my brother, one of my brothers is very much into science, and I actually believe that we're both on this, like we're just
Yeah.
different sides of the same coin,
Mm.
and would love to discuss, because my head is quite scientific when it comes to my spirituality, right? And so I would love to discuss with him
Mm.
the science around some of the stuff that's coming out these days with spirituality, and the Heart Math Institution and all of the different things that they're being able to discover.
Yeah.
And yet very, very close-minded, thinks I'm woo-woo,
Yeah.
and so the same with, well, my mum will listen now, but and yeah, it's quite interesting. So what about you on your end of the scale when it comes to being a daughter and a sister?
I love that because I remember in 2019 I had a time where I was authoring the book, and this is a big incident for me because, well, it felt big at the time. I was actually apologizing for writing this chapter of the book, Epidemic Inequality, and honestly I could, and the picture in my mind was my daughters and my sisters, and who was I apologizing to? Well, it
Who were
was
you going to offend?
yeah, who was I going to offend? And those people came to mind, especially because I was actually writing some things about my own father
Yeah,
in there.
yeah,
And so I found myself shrinking down to that. And I think that's what we tend to do as women quite a lot. And because our family is, or has been, not necessarily is now, but has been our role models,
yeah,
and has been our people that we go to. This is my people.
yeah.
And we don't want to disappoint them.
Absolutely. Blood.
It,
That's
yeah,
it. This
blood.
is blood,
Exactly.
like,
But I
yeah,
think what I find is that this is what I think is really interesting as the journey that we go on through adulthood, and when we're sort of awakening to ourselves, is that there are always deeper levels of new awakening to go to. And to be fully grounded and fully back to our own natural self really requires us to sort of untether from some of that, and to be okay in our own skin, so that when we have conversation with these people, we can stand in our own empowerment around those conversations, or we can choose and put boundaries up and say what we want to talk about and what we don't want to talk about, and that's okay as well.
absolutely. And that's the really interesting thing, isn't it? Because I've heard a lot of people uh, through the years, because like I'll say this first. Through the years, I've heard a lot of people say, I've my family don't acknowledge me, right? And
Mm.
so there's um, this almost powerful push to shove their spirituality in the face of their parents or their of their brothers and sisters, and and then get offended because they react to that, and they judge and all those sort of things, right?
Mm.
And family seems to be one of, like, I reckon we're put into a family specifically to bring up our triggers.
Mm.
Like, like my dad died when I was 15, and it was the start of my spiritual journey. Like, what is this? What's going on? I went off rail for 10 years, like not realizing I was in grief. So there's so many dynamics, and I truly now where I'm at now is in this understanding, like you were just saying, about the boundaries. And the boundaries aren't necessarily I'm setting boundaries for myself so that I don't get hurt by them. What I've discovered is the realization that these are what my boundaries are. This is who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And out of respect for somebody else who doesn't really understand that, hasn't had the depth of knowing or growing or learning, of really dissecting myself and understanding, my shadow self and limiting beliefs and all of the things that, you and I and most of I would say the community of women of light, that's what you're on here for. That's where we are. That's what we live for, is to really discover who we are under all these layers. And if your family doesn't understand that or recognize that, then, out of respect for them, just because their consciousness is at a different stage, not a better stage or a lower stage or anything like that, just at a different stage, then I don't share those things because they don't understand. And it's not that they don't love me. They just, it's like talking to someone about politics when you've got no idea about politics, right? Or they don't.
I think we can feel pulled to try and justify what we know to be true for ourselves, because essentially as women we struggle to trust ourselves. And so we're feeling pulled to explain that, and so that it can justify to people, and particularly our family, that we're actually okay, we're still doing the right thing. So I really always ask women to listen to that narrative and say, what is it that's actually going on here?
Yeah.
Are you still tethered to the narrative that you have to be this particular girl, and you have to be accommodating and nice, and you can't show up as confident? Because do you know that studies show that as a society we accept boys as confident and men, but we don't accept women as confident. So any woman who shows up as confident, we will find a way to knock her down.
Wow.
Now, studied. So as women, if you are struggling with confidence, then that's why.
Yeah.
Because we're conditioned that we're not allowed to be confident.
Wow. And also we're accepted in society for not being confident.
Yeah,
then.
of course. Yes, that's right. So everything we do, when we're accommodating, when we're nice, when we're nurturing, when we're all of those words that we use around women.
Yeah.
We think
when we're shy, when we're submissive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But people will say, oh, she's such a lovely person.
Yeah.
Well, what else is she?
Yeah.
So I think our families is where, and it's nothing to do. It's just the nucleus of a family.
Yeah.
That creates that.
Absolutely.
Nobody is consciously aware of that, and it's so deeply ingrained.
Yeah.
So I feel like for women to be able to really own who they are and step deeply into their spirituality, they really have to be able to own who they are. They have to be able to stand on solid ground and say, all right, I'm unwavering in this.
Yeah.
There's nothing that anyone can do to tell me I can't feel confident that this is the right path for me.
Yes. And that can be challenging when you're in the middle of the growth, right?
Yeah,
because I remember, when I was desperately trying to get my brother to understand that we were on the same side of the coin. And so I was constantly talking to him about stuff, and he would just slam me, and it was because I was looking for acknowledgement. I was trying to work out what my spiritual path was and all of that. But as I grew further and further into the understanding and knowing, the deep knowing that comes with, your own personal experience and growth, there was no longer any reason for me to be looking for that acknowledgement anymore, because I acknowledge myself. And so it was totally different conversations, you know, and opportunities for communication in to blend and to dance with the two, you know, so without bringing it up in a way that would, you know, be disrespectful to, you know, like, what was that? Sorry?
Offend.
Offend. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So it's going to be a great conversation. I actually have to remember when it is. I think it's next
Monday night, isn't it?
Next Monday night. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in joining, we'll put the link in to this in here as well, so that you can register. So it'll be on Zoom, so everyone gets the opportunity to see each other and everything, and then we'll live stream it into the Women of Light Facebook group, so people can engage afterwards as well, and add their comments. And so yeah, it's going to be heaps of fun with the you know, if you've had struggles, triggers, freak out times, you know, big fights with your family because of your belief system, then please join us, and we would love to hear how you went with it. And if you've got any questions for, you know, some of the people that are on here, Jeanette will be one of them. We've got Petra Tzak as well, and Jenny Walke, she'll be on as well. So
oh wow, what a powerhouse. It's going to be great fun.
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic. So thank you, Jeanette, for jumping in
No,
last minute.
Oh, it's been a great pleasure. It's always lovely to see your face and smiling face.
Yes, so nice to see you too. And you've moved into a beautiful, can't wait to come up and see your beautiful beach.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at it right now out my window.
Yeah, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
Take care, hon,
Yeah.
and we'll speak soon.
All right, see ya.
See ya.
Bye.